Yeah, Vandy was talking like his coach. That was pretty good, some of that language. But Travis, I love Travis. He's a man of few words. But he works. He's in the best shape that he's ever been. I mean, you talk about a guy that's really worked hard and done all the things that he's supposed to do. I mean, very impressive, very impressive what he's done. And same thing with Vandy. Vandy's really done a great job. Those two guys, along with the other 10 guys, have done a good job with the rest of the team. So, we feel good, heading into the spring. We'll have a couple guys that won't participate in the spring due to injuries. Terrence Gagne won't be doing anything in the spring. He had tore his Achilles while he was home over Christmas break, and he's doing well with his rehab. Darius Bush tore his Achilles after he got back here. He's had surgery and recovering and rehabbing. Things are going well there. Guys that'll be limited, Brandon Heatherman, he had to get his knee redone from when he hurt it in high school. And so they have him going through things, but he won't be doing any contact. Jay Rose doing really well with his rehab from his pec tear that he had. And, really other than that, we're in pretty good shape. And, you got guys as, of course, we'll get the soft tissue injuries and things along those lines as we got started here. But, I've been pleased with, the discipline of our team since we've gotten back here. The last 2 weeks of January, the first 2 weeks of school, we were, quarantined, weren't able to do a whole lot. But then here in this month of February, they've done a really good job. Coach King and his staff and the players have done a really good job. They're getting themselves prepared, for spring practice. So just looking forward to it. I think the one thing is that, we're going to have great competition. You heard Ryan and Travis talk about it. These guys have been competing, and when you look at it, we're pretty much going to have most of our team here, other than really 9 scholarship players who will be coming in the summertime towards the end of June, and then we'll have a few walk-ons that'll be here. So for the most part, we're going to have our whole team here. And like I said, I think as I've said before, our guys have really done a good job of taking advantage of what we've laid out for them in terms of the process that we wanted to go through to take advantage of, not playing, and they've done a good job. And you guys will see it firsthand when you get a chance at some point in time, whatever that may be, to see these guys from a physical standpoint. I think that's one of the things that stands out first and foremost. The other thing that I've been impressed with is I think it really helped us to have the quality meeting time and walkthroughs that we've been able to do with our guys to get them to better understand our schemes and what we want to do offensively and defensively. You can see, the communication, you can see the confidence. And, as I told them yesterday morning after we got finished with what we had to do, is that, you can see guys are, walking around, with more confidence. Vandy mentioned Jaylon Farrell. I mean, the difference between now and a year ago and 2 years ago when he first got here is unbelievable. And there's a lot of guys like that. So, everything's trending in the right direction. And now what we have to do is go out and take advantage of these 15 practices that, we're going to get really here and, in meetings and do that from March 1st to April the 2nd. And then, they're going to be heading out of here until, June 1st, and then they'll come back. So we just need to continue to keep working the process and keep taking advantage of all this time that we're getting.
Okay, we'll take questions now. Just raise your hands if you have one. Joe Zone, go ahead.
Randy, good afternoon. I wonder, have you noticed an attitude change the last year, maybe kids who now have more of an appreciation for the things they do have and can do than maybe in the past when they may have complained a little bit about things they couldn't do or didn't have?
Yeah, I do. I don't, the good thing is that I don't have to say as much anymore. And like I said, I think this leadership council, I'll let, what Vandy said speak for itself. I mean, what he talked about, and because again, those are the guys that see it. I can tell you guys and all that, but they're the ones that are living it. But no, I see a whole different approach, a whole different attitude, a whole different mindset, with this group and than any of the other groups that we've had since, I've been back.
Thank you.
Mike Anthony, go ahead.
Thanks. Hey, Randy. Travis is big and strong, and now I assume bigger and stronger. What else makes him a really good football player, Randy? And what's your experience been like with him, seeing him develop, and what's next for him in that development, would you say?
I think the sky's the limit for Travis. I really do. I mean, he is a powerful man. He just has gotten so much better. Like I said, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger, he's gotten faster. His body is, is really good. And you heard him say he wants to get down to 325, Travis is one of those young men who, just wants to be the best that he can be. He loves playing the game of football. He loves the work that goes with it. I think what's happened is with all this time that we've had, he's become even a student of the game, because we've been able to, spend more time with him and everybody else, teaching him the game and teaching him more about situations and what people do. And, here's a guy that just this, big, raw guy that came in from, Wilbur Cross and just, see ball, get ball, and, didn't know a whole lot of anything else in terms of how to play the position. And now you see him really understanding how it all works, as a defensive lineman. And, and again, he's gotten a lot better. He is, I want him to speak up, because when he speaks, people listen. And, he's in the weight room working. People don't mess with him, and he needs to take that and continue to develop as a leader. And, but like I said, I think the sky's the limit for him. And, the one thing I never have to worry about Travis is whatever he's doing, we're going to get his best effort all the time.
And Randy, if he keeps working and stays along the same trajectory in that development, what kind of impact could he have as an NFL player? You've been around a lot of good ones.
Well, we'll worry about that when that time comes. As Travis said, Travis just wants to focus on UConn and what he can do here and what he can do this season. And, that's what I like about Travis and all these guys. They're just focusing on how to get better each and every day. And you know what? If all of our guys just do that, and that's one of the things that we've had to really instill in them, and, they just do the things that they're supposed to do each and every day to get the best they can, then the goals and aspirations for what we want to accomplish as a team, we're going to be able to do. And then that's going to lead to more opportunities for them as they continue on in their football and life careers.
Thank you.
Bob Joyce, go ahead.
Randy, you've always been playing an uphill climb here, trying to catch up to what it used to be with the depth, with the experience. You're always playing young guys. Now that you didn't play last year, do you feel like you're caught up now? At least you have a lot of fifth-year seniors now that can develop and can do what you did your first time around here when you were good, when you had good teams, you had that kind of depth and experience?
I do feel good about, where we are right now and where we are from a depth standpoint. Hopefully we can keep it that way. We don't have injuries. We don't have some other issues that could come up or whatever that you hope that don't come up. But again, I think, like I said, it's one of those situations where it's going to be very, very competitive. When you take a look at the secondary this year, it's going to be very competitive. Linebacker position is going to be very competitive. Up front, there's a couple guys that, have played. But again, the thing is, you need a lot of guys up there. So we have some young guys. I mean, you just take a look at a guy like Nick Harris and how he's grown in 1 year. Colin McCarthy, these two guys came in as freshmen, Justin Moore, Luau. I mean, these guys look totally different, so now we finally have, I think we have some depth. Now, some of those guys don't have experience, but at least, now, that if they can go on the field and play because they're going to be capable of it physically. Same thing offensive line wise. I mean, Rayante Brown, you take a look at him now. I mean, Chase Lunt, those guys. I mean, we have some guys where we can have kind of the depth. And if we do get an injury that, maybe it won't decimate us as much. And, wide receivers, I think we have more depth there than we've ever had since I've been here all these years. Like what we got at running back. And then the same thing, we're going to have great competition at quarterback too. So tight ends, and that's the thing that's exciting about this spring. And guys understand that, they're going to have to go out and compete and do things the right way. And really, there's the thing that I like about it and the coaching staff likes about it is the fact that there's no excuses now. And there's no excuses from the standpoint. Everybody's had a chance to get, bigger, faster, stronger. Everybody's had a chance to really understand the schemes and what their responsibilities are, and also get a chance to work on the fundamentals and techniques. So it's going to be a lot of fun to go through these 15 practices and, and have some scrimmages that, we weren't able to have during the fall. So, it's going to be a lot of fun in these for these 15 practices.
Danny Barletta, go ahead.
Yeah, Randy, what are your expectations for your team this spring, and how are they maybe different than a normal spring? Because, like you said, all the extra meetings, all the extra, workout sessions that they were able to get over the fall.
I don't think it's going to be any different than what it was any other spring, from the standpoint that I just want to see guys continually get better. Each and every practice that we have. And I want to see guys competing, and I want to be able to have as much depth as we can. And, I hope we feel confident that we got 80 guys that we think can go out and play and contribute, next fall. And again, because of special teams and everything. So the expectations is for everybody just to get better and to work as hard as they can to make themselves better, but to make their teammates better, and to be able to go out and execute our schemes on a daily basis when we practice and when we scrimmage.
Gavin, go ahead.
Randy, who are some of the leaders on your team as far as the guys that players that really listen to and look up to? Who are the guys that are on the team like that?
Well, I mean, we have, like I said, we have our leadership council, and we're going to select captains at the end of spring. But, offensively, you have Ryan Vandermark, you got Michael Leon, you got Jay Rose, you got Cam Ross, you got Jeremy Lucien, Miles Bell, you got Omar Fort, you got Ian Swinson, you got Jackson Mitchell, you got Travis, you got Luau, you've got Brian Keating. So again, those are guys that, and then there's other guys because of just the way that they, that they work and the things that they do. Guys listen to. I mean, that's the one thing. Guys are holding each other accountable to do the things that they're supposed to do, and they're making sure that it happens. Like I said, as a coach, I haven't had to do as much. And as I've always said, you guys have always heard, when it's a player-driven team, it's so much better, and you're going to win more than when it's coach driven. So, just want to, keep those guys, on the upward trend and keep guiding them and leading them in the right direction.
What do you look for when you put somebody on the leadership council when you're looking for people to add?
Guys that do it the right way, guys that work hard and get it done in all phases, of the program. And because it's hard to have somebody on a leadership council that's not a leader, that isn't bought into what you want to establish with your program. So, you sit back and you observe and you watch and you put the guys on it, and then let them go do their job. And what'll happen is here, like I said, at the end of the spring, we'll have the team vote for captains, and then we'll have captains in place, but I'll keep a leadership council, plus, we'll have captains to aid the captains in terms of, the job that they're going to have to do.
Thanks.
Sean McFarland, go ahead.
Hey, Randy. Ryan was talking about Kevin Mensah and just kind of the steps he's taken this offseason. I was wondering what you've seen out of him and what your expectations are for him heading forward in the spring and in summer and all that.
I got to temper, what I say, because I've seen a big change in Kevin. Kevin's matured a bunch, and Kevin was on the leadership council, and I took him off a while back. And, but I see a guy that's came back, and he's more mature right now and working very hard and doing the things that, you would expect a young man to do in his role, in his position. But working extremely hard in the weight room, and in the workouts, and he's going about his business the way he should be doing it. So I've been pleased with the progress that Kevin has made. But we've had to have some discussions, with him. And we have a couple other guys like that, but same thing. You have those discussions, and you see a change in them, and that's what's encouraging. It's encouraging, and so now those guys just have to keep doing it. And I think they see the benefits of by doing it the way that we're asking them to do it, helps them in every phase of their life.
When you have a guy like Kevin who, like you said, has kind of made some changes and is progressing, he's had success on the field in years past, but how does those changes he's made off the field, I guess, heading forward, how does that benefit him on the field, and how does that translate, I would say?
I think what happens is it's going to make him better on the field, because he's going to be more coachable, and he's going to listen, and he's going to take coaching, and he's going to take, the insight that, the thing is, when people are talking to him and they're trying to help him, they're trying to make him better, and I think that's one of the big things. I think you'll see a better player than what you saw previously.
Eric Dobratz.
Hi, Randy. Is there a way to measure how much farther ahead maybe you guys are physically and probably mentally by not having the wear and tear of 12 games on your schedule last fall? I mean, you chart everything in analytics, I understand, but can you see the difference from maybe a year ago to now by not having all that wear and tear on some of these bodies?
Well, I was thinking about that the other day, when I was running, I just stuff comes into my mind and all that stuff. But, your body only has so many hits in it anyhow, when you play this game. And what we did last year saved our players' bodies from all those hits from a season. And then what we did on top of that is we allowed those bodies to grow and develop and get bigger and stronger. So now, as we go into the spring, we go into next season, the hits that they're going to take, it might not affect them as much, because of, they are bigger, they are stronger, and they are taking care of their bodies, better, and eating right, eating a little bit better, and those sort of things. So all I can say, Eric, is, if you just look at the guys, physically, you can see it and tell it. And then you don't see, I mean, you're always going to have the soft tissue injuries, in football. That's always, that's always going to be there. Tight this, tight that, whatever, sore this, sore that. That's always going to be there. But, we don't seem to have as many of those things. But like I said, I think what we've done is we've been able to put these, by doing what we've done, I think we've put these young men in a situation where we're going to give them the best opportunity for success because of how hard they've worked, what they've done with the time that we've had, weight room, mentally, all those things.
You were thinking about it while you were running because of all your own aches and pains? Is that what you're telling me?
What's that?
You were thinking about it while you were running because of all your aches and pains from the past years of
football? Yeah, because of how hard it is for me to run anymore. But I just said, and again, it's true because you learn a lot and everything else. But I still remember when I first went to the NFL. I mean, the size and speed of that game and everything else, and as I always refer to, because he was a good mentor and everything else, Dick Geron, he used to always talk about that there's only so many hits that you have, in your body. And there's certain things that you try to do, from a recovery standpoint and all those different things to, keep your guys fresh and do the things that you're supposed to do. So, that's the thing that I'm looking forward to. We're going to get a lot of guys scrimmage reps this spring. And so they're going to be able to go out and perform and see how much better they've gotten and then how much they're going to have to continue to work to improve.
Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. When you were mentioning the list of leaders that you were naming off, you mentioned one of your quarterbacks, Michael Leon. What do you want to see from that quarterback group throughout the spring from your perspective?
I want to see somebody take it over. I want to see somebody take charge. We'll rotate guys in with the first group, and with that, guys will get their opportunities. I want to see the guy that's gonna grab the bull by the horn and be able to be the guy that's going to be able to run our offense. If that happens this spring, so be it. If it doesn't, then we'll go to the fall with it. But all those guys are going to get reps. Tyler Pumachang is in the running as well. So again, who's that guy that can lead the team? And it's more than just throwing and running have a lot to do with it and all those things, but who are the guys? And as you know, it's guys that have that it factor. Guys will rally around, and those guys have that knack for doing things to making sure that they can get their team into the end zone and go out and execute at a high level. And that's the thing. You go back because we've had a lot of time to study things and everything else. You go back in 2019. And we had so many opportunities to score more points and everything else if we just make the right reads and we do the things we're supposed to do. So you hope with experience and maturity and the time spent in the meeting room that we'll take advantage of those things, because we've created some opportunities, and I think we've got some guys that at all the positions, skill positions, and with the offensive line and what we want to do schematically to be able to have a very good offense and take advantage of things.
Outside of that quarterback group, is there a position group that you're most focused on and interested to see how the battle plays out this spring? I know defensively, secondary, you probably have the least amount of game experience, and also need to fill in one of the safety spots too.
Well, I think it's every position, because and I think that we told the guys and they all understand it. Nobody's guaranteed anything. If you want a position, go grab it. And that's what you want as a coach. You want to have a lot of people out there competing, because then what's that do? That keeps people on their toes, each and every day. But there's some positions where maybe we don't have as much experience as others. Who are going to be the 10 best, offensive linemen? That's the thing. We're going to try to come out of the spring with who's the 10 best and make sure they're in the right spots. So then at least you have a two deep from that standpoint. Who are the guys in the secondary? I mean, who are the guys that are the starters? Who are the guys that's a nickel? Who are all those things. And then the other thing is in terms of linebacker, there's going to be some competition there because there's guys that have experience there. But who are the guys that can aid to what we want to do? And it's our job to find out who can do things, take their strengths and maybe incorporate it into some of the things that we're doing. And like I said, wide receiver, that to me is going to be a big battle. And at running back, we got some young guys. What can they do? Who can go and do the things that we want to have done? And then, we're going to have young kicker and punter, and so, the competition there. I would say Keating's doesn't have to really worry about anything. Wished I had his job. But no, Brian's a great leader who's done a great job and vocal and everything else. So it's going to be fun. And because, like I said, the more competition you have, the better it is, in my opinion.
Aman, go ahead.
Hi, Randy. With no games in the fall, we mentioned, the less wear and tear, but player development is obviously tends to be really dependent on getting live reps, and coaches as well depend on that for player evaluation. So I was wondering, one, did you consider meeting any external opponents for this spring, as some other schools have done? And what have you done to recreate the live environment in the absence of games?
No, we didn't consider to play in the spring. I was watching some stuff this past weekend, and some teams are going to play like 2 games, and that I just don't think that would have been advantageous for what we're trying to get done here, with our program. So that was really never something that came up. I think we'll get more out of doing what we're going to do and doing what we've been doing. And, and again, the only thing that we can do is try to simulate. Like I said, we'll scrimmage a few times here this spring. And then when we get through the spring, when we get into the fall, we'll scrimmage. And then, you know what? There's not going to be any excuses. We'll go play the schedule that's in front of us and do that and know that we're going to be prepared. And a lot of it's a mindset. And we just got to make sure that we have the right mindset as we go into this. And that's one of the things I think our kids have done a really good job of. They've had the right mindset through all this. And, when you take a look at it, as I told them yesterday, this is all a process that we've had to go through. And the process for us was one where, I look at it now that, to me, by not playing in the fall, we are further along with our program than what we would have been if we played in the fall, because none of our guys lost any eligibility. They've gotten bigger and stronger, and they got better mentally by doing the things that we did. They got better physically. And so for us in our program, it was the best thing that we could do. And I would never second guess what we've done or what we're doing, moving forward.
Just as a quick follow-up to that, I mean, the New York Times wrote a really, big article praising UConn, calling them, the champions of the season. What do you think it just says about you and UConn as a program to make that decision and be one of only a small handful of FBS programs to do that decision, after taking input from the players?
Well, it's just like our leadership council. I'm the leader of this program. So what I have to do is I have to take into consideration all the things that, are out there and what we could do. And as I took in everything and looked at it, I just felt that the best thing for us to do is to do what we did. And, other people maybe didn't have these same opportunities that we had to make the decisions that we made. And my whole focus and concern is always what is going to be best for our program, because that's really what it's all about. And, being an independent makes that a little bit different. But, my thing is this: I just know that we did what we felt was best for our program, for our student athletes, and, their health, and everything else, I think, is so much better. Their outlook is so much better by doing what we did than if we would have tried to do anything different than what we've done.
Thank you.
Joe Zone.
Randy, without playing games for a year, which group has the most to catch up on the quickest? Is there one group that, without playing, really has to move fast and maybe learn more than the others quickly?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's all timing. It's all the cohesiveness of what you're doing. But and again, if we know what we're doing and we can go out and execute, we're going to be fine. And that's one thing is that, like I said, the one thing that I do like is the fact that we're going to have close to 80 guys, maybe 80 some guys that are going to be out there, this spring. So to me, and again, we're using this time to get ourselves even better fundamentally, technique wise, doing the things that we need to do offensively, defensive, special teams, to get us prepared, then to go into the summer. And then as we come back, then we'll gear it all up to, what we have to do to get ready to play at Fresno State on August 28th. So I don't know if there's any one group. It's all of us collectively. We just got to go out there each and every day and get better and work to make ourselves better and make the guy across from us better.
And Matt, looks like you might wrap up with this one. Go ahead.
You talked a lot about players. How important is it to have consistency within the coaching staff? I think this is the third year that group has now been together. How does that help the program as a whole?
I think it helps a lot. I think it helps a lot because with the players, so they're hearing that same voice, and for us as a staff, we haven't had to change terminology. We haven't changed the schemes. We've tweaked a lot of things. We'll tweak things based on, what we've studied and from our own people from 2019 moving forward and what we saw in this, and we were able to implement some of those things during the fall, and now we'll be able to do them here live in the spring. So I think that has been a tremendous asset to us to be able to have the same guys here, and like I said, the continuity is always welcome from a head coaching standpoint. So that to me should only help make us better as well.